ABC and ABD here. Now the largest angle that a sheet of paper is formed is this one, starting from ray BD and going to ray BC. Understand this like here. That this is the sheet of paper. This is the sheet of paper. So largest angle is, if I give it name here A, B, C, D and E. So this is the largest angle that can be formed on a sheet of paper, which is angle AEB. Its common vertex is E. This is the vertex and its two arms are ray EA and ray EB. So this is the largest angle which can be formed on a sheet of paper. Now what is, so smallest angle cannot be known by just folding of a paper. You can have very small angle also. So let's move to our next question. In each case, determine which angle is greater and why. So you have been given a figure and you have to determine which angle is bigger and why that angle is bigger. So let's, though just by observation you can tell, but let's make the figure on the board. So this is the figure. Now what we have to do is, we would trace this figure over the tracing paper or the butter paper. So let's trace this figure. So I have, let's name the alphabets accordingly given in the book. OA, X, Y and C. So first we would join these points OA, OX, OY and OC. Now what you are going to do is, it has asked you to and this is B point here. Comparison has been asked between AOB and XOY. So let's first cut these two angles. Though this is very easy to know, just by observation you can say that AOB is greater than XOY. So we do not need the superimposition, but still to make you understand we can have this activity here. XOY and AOB. So AOB, just by observation you can see AOB is larger, but let's cut angle AOB on the paper. And from in between we cut XOY. So this is my angle AOB. This whole angle is AOC, sorry, AOB or AOC. It is like this. So I have reduced angle to lines only. This is AOB and this is my XOY. So XOY is smaller than AOB. So you can see here very clearly that if I put vertex over the one line, then this angle is much smaller than AOB. So just by observation or by superimposition, by this activity, you know that angle AOB is greater. Now this greater, always remember the sign, is greater than XOY. Then second question is compare angle AOB and XOB. So again your AOB, if I redraw, and XOB. X is lying in the interior of the angle. So this is the angle. Now see from here that if I rotate or if I turn OB till OA, so then we get angle AOB. I am turning the side, see from here, this is my scale, and from OB to OA I have reached angle AOB. So which turning is more? In the second case we will again start with OB and turn till OX. So in both the cases you can see that AOB, see from here, I am turning the scale till OA. So it is this marking, and then turn the scale till OX. So this marking, reach OX, start from OB and reach OX, start from OB and reach OA. So in this case you can easily see that angle AOB is greater than angle XOB. Okay. So by turning or rotating, we can recognize it. Then third is angle XOB or angle XOC. So now we see XOB and XOC. Now in the original figure, just look over here. In the original figure, XOB and XOC. So even if you start from OB and turn till X, so I get this measurement. Start from OB and turn till OX. So you get the measurement. And then start from OC and turn till X. You get the same measurement. The turning remains same. It is starting from ray OB or OC and reaching OX. So the third case is angle XOB is equal to angle XOC. This is because B and C are on same line. What is the reason why these two angles are equal? Because B is also lying on the same line where C is lying, and you are turning both the angles till OX. आप अपना जो एंगल टर्न कर रहे हो वो कहाँ से स्टार्ट कर रहे हो? OB से या OC, दोनों एक ही बात है, और दोनों यहाँ पर टर्न करके कहाँ पहुँचेंगे? OX तक. तो दोनों का टर्निंग सेम है, इसलिए दोनों का मेजरमेंट भी सेम होगा. Then the third question and the last question for today's session. Which angle is greater, XOY or AOB? Okay, so in this case, definitely we have to use the tracing paper, otherwise we won't be able to understand it, that which angle is greater. So let's take the tracing paper. This is my tracing paper, and we will draw the figure first on the board. So this is OB, OY, OA and OX. So this is my figure. Now we will trace this figure over the paper. So my points are here. This is how. So we have made the angles. Now we will make separate angles here. This is X, this is O, and this is Y. And on the other place we would measure A, O and B. Now we would draw the angles over the tracing paper. XOY and AOB. So well, you can see that by turning at AOB and pasting it XOY, you get that XOY is much greater than AOB. So to show it properly, we would cut these angles. So these two are the angles XOY and AOB. So AOB is much smaller than XOY. You can paste this in your notebook and show it that XOY is much greater than AOB. So this is how we are going to do this question. So I think you have understood what we learned today, and give reasons. Now the question 3 is asking for the reasons. So you would just show the superimposition principle and you would say that the two angles are compared like this, or you can also give reason that turning from OB to AO is smaller than turning from OY to OX. So you can also write this, that this was our original figure. Turning from OB to OA is much smaller than turning from OY to OX. So you would say turning or rotating from OB to OA is smaller than rotation from OY to OX. Okay, and by superimposition we can conclude angle AOB is smaller than angle XOY, and this paper sheet you can paste besides this to show it. Take your leave. Have a very nice day. Bye, students.